In today's episode, I'm sitting down with Natalie Gardner with Dr. Doug's, one of my friends and just a longtime supporter of her business, what she's doing. I just love what they're doing at Dr. Doug's. You'll get to learn more about their products today and why they're so powerful. Like, genuinely, this is such a good episode to learn a little bit more about magnesium. I know that's very off topic of what we normally talk about here. Don't worry, we talk about business building advice, small business advice, getting out of your own way, perfectionism, lots of rich conversations here about small business. And then we talk about magnesium and how important it is for our bodies. So I just loved how diverse the conversation was today. And for us to kind of peek behind the curtain at what Dr. Doug's is doing and how they developed their product. Really awesome stuff that they have going on. So I know that you're going to love this conversation today. Before we dive in, here's a little bit more about my guest. Natalie Gardner is the co-founder and heart behind Dr. Doug's Miracle Balms. After 20 years in biotech, she traded the corporate world for clean healing, building a brand rooted in the belief that simple, natural solutions can create powerful everyday miracles, one person at a time. You're going to love Natalie and today's conversation. Before we dive in, I just want to share that we have some in-person Indera member-only events coming up, some meetups. So if you want to connect in person, we'll be going to Atlanta, Las Vegas, and New York City. So you could become a member for as low as $25 a month. Go to joinindera.com. That's join, INDERA.com to learn about the Independent Retailers Association. And if you need the resources inside the community and want to meet up with us, I'd love to meet you in person. So stay tuned for more information there, and let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Crystal Vilkaitis, the Wolf of Main Street, and this is Rooted in Retail. Natalie, welcome to Rooted in Retail. I am thrilled you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here as well. Thanks, Crystal.
I have been looking forward to this conversation. I said to you, I feel like it's long overdue because we've been in each other's worlds for a few years now. We met through a mastermind that we're both in. And you were one of my first Evolve sponsors. You sponsored all 3 Evolve conferences, which just means the world to me. And then you also gave us product for our wedding. Like, we got to pick our scents for lip balms and custom labels that were so beautiful. And it was so meaningful to have you a part of that too. You have the best product. You know, my husband is addicted. And so this is why I'm so happy to have you on the show. So it's going to be a good conversation.
Thank you. And I'm so glad you liked those. We had just started getting into the private label, and I thought
it was perfect. It was just so perfect. You did such a good job. So Natalie, for those people who don't know you, will you take a couple of minutes and share with us your retail journey?
I'm Natalie Gardner. I'm co-founder of Dr. Doug's Balms. And it's kind of funny how this ended up happening. You know, since I was really young, I knew I wanted my own business, but I never knew what that was going to be. And I just remember sitting across from my friend at the time, Dr. Doug, and he was telling me about these crazy races that he does. Good crazy, but I'm not doing 100 miles in the mountains. It's just not my thing, but good. But apparently they have to carry everything on their back. So he was trying to create one product that would prevent blisters, prevent chafing, and heal his skin. And so he started compounding these things in his hotel room. Before he knew it, everyone around the country they become a family, was asking, "Did you bring your stuff?" And so one day he was sitting across the table from me, and I remember him telling stories about all the people it was helping and for what reasons. And I just remember looking at him and saying, "You really need to sell this stuff." And he looks back at me and just says, "I'm a neurologist. I have no idea how I would even start. But if you want to do the business side, I can still make it and do R&D." And that's really where the company started. And it was just a side gig for quite a while, but we added a few more products, all based on 7 organic ingredients. And the amount of people it was helping at that time, has been incredible. So after lots of testing, and we decided to bring it to market, and we really are fueled by the feedback we get every day.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, you have incredible testimonials. We at Evolve, we had the lip balms and my wedding because we're in Colorado, dryness. So that was super helpful. And then what are some of the other top selling products?
Well, the 3 top sellers are the Miracle Balm, recovery balm, which has arnica and magnesium, and then our true magnesium balm, which has been number one for quite a while now.
It's incredible. And we're going to talk about magnesium later in today's episode, which I'm excited to talk about. And I just want to give a plug for you because Dr. Doug's, they do wholesale as well. So if you're interested in wholesale, we have a lot of retailers listening. And then you guys have a great e-com business that we'll kind of talk about today. So Natalie, let's dive in. Your brand is built on the belief that simple ideas can lead to big results. Can you share one decision or product that started small but ended up having a huge impact at Dr. Doug's?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to the Miracle Balm because that is really our signature product. It is what he started first. 7 organic ingredients. So you'll find coconut oil, olive oil, beeswax, some shea butter, the anti-inflammatory calming properties of the essentials of lavender and peppermint, and vitamin E. So it's really that simple. And Dr. Doug first created it for, to prevent blisters and chafing on a race. But we've soon found out, as we had dermatologists test it and chiropractors, et cetera, that it's working from everything from itchy, dry skin to eczema, where people have had to be on steroids for multiple years. And then they use something that's so simple and works so well. I could go on and on about some different stories of where it really has become somebody's miracle, especially with their kids. So it's safe for all ages. And so the Miracle Balm has really just helps with such a span of just chronic skin issues that who knew it was going to become that important.
No kidding. Well, and to your point, it's so simple, the ingredients. I mean, the game changer. Also, don't you have a lot of elderly clients that are using? Yeah.
We do, yeah. And the miracle really for the skin texture, et cetera. And then for each additional product, we added 1 or 2 ingredients for specific things. So the recovery balm, a lot of, elderly, but really you can use it from birth up. Also has, in addition to the ingredients that I already mentioned, has arnica montana and magnesium in it. And that has been a game changer.
I love it so much. And I just love how simple and clean the products are. Now, for indie retailers who feel like they're getting lost in the noise because, you being a small business owner yourself and launching this business, and we were in a mastermind together, and I know we would brainstorm with each other on what can we do to get out there. And so if there are retailers that just kind of feel lost in the noise, what have you learned about standing out without relying on trends or flashy marketing?
Yeah, I think the trends and the flashy marketing are a lot of the problem, to be honest, because they convince us, right, to try to just, they want to distract us and get us off point. And I completely can relate to how so many people are feeling. I think we've all been there at one point, but just sticking with what is your genuine goal and sticking with it and just knowing that. If it's interacting with customers and seeing them one-on-one when they walk in, knowing what they're, how to interact with them, then stick with that. Make sure you have the things that really cater to those people who love you and are probably giving recommendations to come to you to a lot of other people. So stick with where you started. And it's funny how that spirals.
It so spirals. Well, and we also just can compare ourselves so much. We feel like we're small businesses. How can I stand out? But something I've been saying a lot lately is the word relevance. You need to be relevant to your customers. Stop. And often the big flashy, that kind of stuff, it can work. There's a time and place for it for sure. But if that's not your brand, really just being you. And I think of Dr. Doug's and sharing the stories of your customers, they're the voice which becomes so relevant. That's what it's about. I feel like that's where we can really connect and stand out.
Yes, I echo everything you just said there because it's so true. There's just so much opportunity with what we're really good at and too many distractions to go outside that.
There's a ton. There is a ton. Just the other day, I opened up my phone and I just wanted to go to Spotify and play music. That's it. Okay. Because I have to always have music on. So I open up my phone, but there was a notification on LinkedIn. So I go to LinkedIn. And I read the comment and then I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm writing back to the comment and then I hit feed and then I'm on the feed and then I watch a 15-minute live stream that somebody did. And then the live stream ends. And then I start thinking I'm all about podcast stuff. And then why am I here? I just totally blacked out. I straight up was I have no idea what I was doing. And I put my phone down and I'm like, oh yeah, music. That's what I was doing. It's so distracting.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And
every day.
And if you go back to some of the Evolve conferences and where we've talked about the different generations, I loved that piece of a couple of the Evolve events. But really, I think about the younger generations and how are they, like, how could they not have ADHD or something, right?
Seriously.
I mean, I hope every single day that happens more than once. Yeah. And what in the world? Like, how?
I know. But this is where the relevance so comes into play. I think because it was relevant to me because someone I really care about commented on an announcement post. And I was like really excited that they commented. And then when I was in the live stream, it was the retail doctor, Bob Phibbs. And him and I are talking about doing some stuff. And I'm like, he's so relevant to me. It's the relevancy. So just focus on that versus the flashy and trends, I think.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And it goes back to what's your goal, to really understanding your customers. Now, you said that imperfect progress builds stronger customer loyalty than chasing perfection, which I so agree with. What are some ways retailers can embrace that mindset in their own businesses?
I think for us, one of the big things is I don't really love to be on camera, and neither does Doug. But people want the engagement, which leads to purchases, which we know we need to have to stay in business, but the engagement goes up significantly when we do. So what I've learned is it doesn't have to be perfect. Just go and do it. If you have something new and you're feeling some excitement for it, share that, like share the emotion, because it's contagious. And I feel like people are more loyal when they know who they're working with and what their heart is. And frankly, some of the challenges around them too, because we can relate. Most of us can relate to each other, but to hide behind, just perfection, it just, let's face it, that's not life, right? We want to be there. We have an idea and go ahead. But if you're real, you're going to get more people to be engaged, stay engaged, and be loyal to you.
It's so true. I've said this a lot in the show, but I once heard that a Broadway playwright said how you write a character to be somebody that people hate is to write them to be perfect. And so perfection is not what we relate to, like you said, and going back to relevance. And this topic has been on the show a lot, I think, because it is really hard to put ourselves out there. To your point, you don't like being on camera. Doug doesn't like being on camera. I've talked to you guys in person. You're so personable. You're so knowledgeable. You're so fun. But then it's like, I don't want to be on camera. It's just such a natural feeling. So for anyone listening, it's natural. Like if you feel that way, majority of the people feel that way. And I would just encourage you to do it anyway. Because like you said, Natalie, it creates sales and engagement.
And frankly, it really doesn't matter how you look, because if you look all messed up and your hair has been blown by the wind and all, you've had a super busy day, people will probably engage even more, be like, oh, I mean, if you think of like when you're scrolling through things, you stop on something that isn't perfect and just seems like, why do I want to listen to that? And, we all need to like make sure we're engaging in that way, or we're not going to, or people aren't, you can go and do all you want, but the number of things is not going to increase, I just don't think the more is going to make the real difference. It's being real, being genuine.
It's being real. Yep. And like you said, I should have went live yesterday because I got home. I had a meeting with my team at our coffee shop here, Pedro's, and we were like, let's sit outside. It's so nice finally. And then we go out there and it's so windy, and then a storm's rolling in. So we're like, never mind, let's go inside. So we go inside. And then when I get home, like hours later, I'm getting ready for bed and I look and I have hair like just in the way wrong spot. And I should have went live. I should have been like, I have been walking around for hours this way. I haven't looked at myself. But it is, people laugh, people engage. They're like, yep, been there, done that. So just be imperfect. It's such a good message.
Just be okay with it.
Yep, just be okay with it. Now, what advice would you give to a small business owner who's feeling discouraged by slow growth or overwhelmed by competition from bigger brands that have bigger budgets?
That one's a little bit hard, right? Because again, that takes your attention and makes you want to do all the things that they're doing. But I truly believe, and especially now, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know how you feel about this, Crystal. I'd love to hear, but people want that relationship. They want to feel like they know you. They want to feel like they're not being advertised to all the time, which is great for us because what we, who we are is more like, let's educate. And if it's the right thing for people, they will come. And I think the small retailers that we work with, I see when they do that, they have so much more success and they see so many more people coming through the door. But when they're trying to be like these huge companies, it just doesn't work that way. People have said to us, well, the cost of your products is a little bit higher. Well, we can go through all the things about the cost of organic ingredients and things that have going on, but really we want to keep it small batch so we don't have to put junk in it for you, right?
Right.
And that's really where it comes down to. And there's always going to be, discussions around stuff like that. But I think sharing your why, and again, going back to what you do well, try not to get distracted by all the other stuff, because if you do, I guess this was almost the same answer, but about different stuff. But if we get distracted by what everyone else is doing, we can't be good at what we're doing. And or you may be, if you're listening, you may be awesome at it and be able to do that. But I actually, Crystal, in one of our masterminds, we heard Renee Rodriguez talk. I don't know if you remember that one.
No.
He's all about neuro, like behavioral neuro stuff. And one of the things he talks about is just that, like how many distractions are around us. And every time we get distracted, like let's say we see a competitor that we're a little bit defensive about, it takes at least 19 minutes for you to get back to
Wow.
For you to really focus back. Like every time you get a shoulder tap and get pulled away or start to get distracted on what somebody else is doing is so much lost time on what you can do for your customers. And I'm guessing most of the people watching, that's what they're looking at, right? How can they bring value? How can they serve? And the customers will come. But I thought that was a really interesting stat on his 19 minutes. No wonder. I feel like some days I'm not getting things done, right?
No kidding. One is that so if any time you get distracted, or you're taking your attention off and you're looking at something, you're comparing it's just your attention is gone. It takes 19 minutes to get it back on what you were fully back on.
Yes.
Wow.
To really get focused. Can you imagine how much time?
How do we get anything done? I mean, it's so nuts to me. But I've heard something like that many years ago at a conference as well. And it made me think about how often I'll open up email, but then try to start a task. But then you click on email and it's like, I will shut off the email. I can't have it open because you'll see, another one. And you feel like, oh no, I have to answer that. But then I think it was Brendan Bouchard who said, when you're putting your effort into email, it's everyone else's agenda. They need something from you. And so if you close that down, get your stuff done, then you can go help everybody else's agenda. Then that can help. But I mean, man, we could do probably a 2-day all about time management that I need to be an attendee of because I am nowhere close to being good at that. But we got to, what I hear you say, blinders, right? Stay in your lane.
And that is what it is. But you made me think of one other thing that I think could also be added to, when you're kind of defensive about all these other things going on with competitors, and we all get there. But don't forget, and I'm trying to get better at this, but don't forget to ask people for what you need. So if you need more reviews, if you need more people coming into your store and need them to do a Google review, I mean, most people want to do it. I love when people ask me, heck yeah, of course I'll do it. And if I forget, I actually say now, if for some reason you don't see that go up, I have it written down, but if some reason you don't see that go up, ask me again. Because when you have a good relationship with people and you want them to think about those good things anyway, right? So why not put it down and make it easier for them to share with others? And I'm trying to get better at that because I'm not good. Please share your story. And I really do think that that's somewhere you could absolutely stand out versus the competition. They just don't have, they could have 1 million reviews, but they have genuine, right?
Right, exactly. And I think you're so right. If you don't ask, you often don't get. when I'm in a store and somebody's like, oh, do you mind leaving a review? I'm like, yes, but let me do it right now because I'll never do it. If I leave this building, I'll never do it. So if you can make it easy for me, I can scan a QR code. I can do it easily from my phone. That's better. So great advice to help these small business owners as they're, battling some competition or feel like growth might be a little bit slower. Just stay in your lane, focus on you, don't get too distracted, and ask for the things that you need from your customers as well as other, partners and your team. Natalie, before we go into the resilience round, I want to talk about magnesium because it is blowing up on my TikTok feed. And as we were preparing for this, you're like, I could talk about magnesium. Like on my feed, it's all about pill form. It just feels like a big trend. I don't know if it's a trend right now or if this is going to be a staple, but can you tell me, let's talk about it from a topical perspective because that's how Dr. Doug's uses it. What are the benefits?
Okay, I'm gonna give a brief intro because just so you know, is it going to be a trend? I mean, we are all deficient in magnesium now. They're not putting it back into the soil where we were usually getting that nutrient or that mineral. So most people are magnesium deficient, and magnesium is one of the most vital minerals to our health, helping with over 300 functions in our body. So it is super important. I also take an oral because the orals help with so many things. But the thing to keep in mind about a topical, and the reason we started making the topical was first, Doug was asked in his practice for something, he's always asked for more natural things. And after really researching, one of the things that he saw a lot was headaches, right? Migraine, restless leg, neuropathy, and trouble sleeping. So all of those things is something where you can put mag locally and have it affect it in that way. When we're taking it orally, it has to go through your whole digestive system. And who knows how much, who knows if it's going to go to the place where you really need it at the time. But if somebody's having trouble sleeping or their partner has restless leg and they put the magnesium balm on from knees to what I say is knees to toes and massage it in. Our products are a little bit different. They go on like oils. So it feels like, you can kind of massage it in like a spa and getting a massage, how they use the oils. That's how it feels like absorbing in, but we created it so then it would absorb completely. It shouldn't be greasy once it's put in. I didn't want footprints on my floor or on my phone. So if it feels like that, keep rubbing and make sure you use a little the next time. I mean, that's a little bit different with natural products too, but the key is to get that massaged in. And when the magnesium enters your skin from transdermally and the beeswax locks that in, it's amazing the results people get. So I get a little passionate. So if I went, did I answer your question?
Yes, completely. Yes. Well, this is where it's so funny. This is going to sound just so silly, but this is the importance of top of mind. Okay. Awareness, because I knew that I was interviewing you this week. And that day I was preparing I think this was Monday or Tuesday of this week, I was preparing the questions and you mentioned talking about magnesium. So then I was very thoughtful about magnesium that day. I also take, I think 600 milligrams before bed to help me, which has been definitely helpful from a sleep perspective. But I was laying in bed and man, I've just been having a lot of neck pain, which is leading to headaches. So I'm like, magnesium, topical, and I'm going to be going to bed here. So I get out my Dr. Doug's, put it on my neck. Oh my gosh, I slept so well. I woke up, not like I was so tight the past few mornings, but I wasn't as tight in the morning. It was like calming. It was just incredible. So we need these things in our arsenal of like tools, especially I think like small business owners. Man, it's tough when you're not feeling good or you do have those headaches. You've got to push through and show up often. So this is where Dr. Doug's can really support you if you're having any of those issues and ailments.
Well, and frankly, it makes me think because when we do little events or go to a retailers and do events with them, these are the products that you can say, hey, you look like you're limping a little, or are you having any pain today? Put it on while you shop. I can't think of one situation where they didn't come back and want to buy it because that's how fast it's working for people. Both the magnesium if they have a headache, but also the recovery if they have any aches and pains, and most people do, or joint issues or knees. And so this is something that It's amazing how simple it is, but it works so well. There's actually, I've seen a lot more topicals that are starting to come out. So that's probably why you're seeing maybe more topical. I don't know if you're seeing topical stuff on your feed, but I've been seeing it more. And this is something we've had for a few years. And he has done a phenomenal job of getting as much and transdermally, it's mag chloride. So there's,
Okay.
if anyone ever has any trouble with that, just always reach out. I could talk about that, the different types of mag, but mag chloride is the best transdermally. It's like a salt, but he worked so hard to make it still go on without being gritty or without burning like some of the topical mags do. So there are differences, and hopefully it's help, if we can get it out, get it to more people that it can help. I think I said this earlier, but that's what fuels us.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you're doing a lot of TikToks because it's hot. I know. I know the whole videos, but you got to, yep. It's out there. It's just so hot right now. And I'm not really seeing topical. This is also, if any of our retailers, because I know retailers are wholesalers of yours that have been to Evolve. And if you sell Dr. Doug's and you have this topical magnesium solution, talk about it on TikTok. It is trending. It's a great way to sell through. And I'm not seeing a lot of topical. It's like what to take like from a food perspective, drink perspective, cherry juice. That's another part of my nightly rituals, my cherry juice, my magnesium and things like that. So many opportunities. It's amazing. I have huge news. The Independent Retailers Association is live. We are so excited to announce that this online community is here to support independent retailers. We believe that it is the independent era. This is your time to shine. You have so many advantages to stand out, to grow customer experience, to get found online, to be a modern retailer that is relevant to today's consumer. And we want to help aid you in all of that, which you'll find on the Independent Retailers Association. Now, we call it INDERA, short for Independent Era. This is your era, and we're here to just amplify that with you and with all the other independent retailers who are inside of our community. So if you want to join us, membership starts as low as just $25 a month to join the community, get access to education, resources done for you, AI training, and more. Head to joinindera.com. That's join, INDERA.com to see the different membership levels and learn about what we are up to. So I would love to see you on the inside and love to help you grow your store. So head on over to joinindera.com and let's get back to the episode. All right. Are you ready for the resilience round?
I think so. Let's do it.
Okay. Best business book.
The 9% Edge is what I'm working with right now.
Ooh, okay. I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check it out.
Did you know only 9% of small businesses end up lasting past 10 years?
Really?
Yes. So this is the Candy Valentino book where she researched hundreds of thousands of companies and kind of what was holding them up and how to think about it a little differently in your small business. So.
Ooh, amazing. I will check that out. And I feel like that's a great suggestion for our retailers too. 9%. We got to change that. Best retail
9% Edge. That's what it's called.
9% Edge. Love it. Best retail technology like an app or software.
You know what? I love my Shopify. Whether it's POS or not, it just helps me keep everything organized and how it links with everything else. I know that's a general one, but it really helps. It really helps me no matter where I am.
Yep. That's a great one. How do you keep up with the ever-changing retail landscape?
Can we? I don't know what keep up really means, but just talking to customers and making sure that I know what they need, what they want, what they're struggling with. And how can we bring value to serve them?
Yeah. Awesome. It's very hard to keep up with. It is very hard. I don't know if we can. If you had to start your business all over again, what's one thing you'd do differently?
I would have a clear end game. Not necessarily, but a clear way. What is my goal? So if for me, it's really my family, right? It's to be able to have the freedom to spend more time with my family but if I can help people along the way, awesome, right? But knowing what helps me, I didn't at first, and I was just working, like putting every hour of every day. And, I know my kids saw it and they were building good habits, but they were also not building such great habits. So I wish I had put all of those perspectives into play and thought really through what was my goal at the end going to be. And, it's not necessarily a ton of wealth from a monetary standpoint, but it is to have that time. And so now I have that and I know what I'm working for. So if a project that's another one of those bright and shiny things is going to take up my time and then take away what I'm working for, so what that time is right now, I'm going to say no.
Right. Yeah, because you have clarity. And thank you for sharing that. If there's anyone that's listening to this that you feel a little cloudy, fuzzy, what is all of this for? What am I working so hard for? We can get caught up in somebody else's dream, somebody else's goal, what we think we're supposed to do. And I think that we can not take the pause and take the time to really figure out, like, am I doing all this for what I want it to be for my life and what success looks like to me? And that can change. So if you haven't checked in on that in a while, on what success looks like, I think it's a good time. So great advice there, Natalie.
And you said the power of the pause. That's another thing that actually comes that you'll read about in that 9% Edge, because she talks a lot about the power of the pause and how don't think it's a negative, right? I mean, we all need it at some point, and to be able to recognize that makes us stronger and potentially most of the time better in your business too when you step back in.
So true. So true. Okay, what do you think the future of independent retail looks like?
I think it's great. I really do. I feel like that's what people want now. They want personalization. They want relationships. They want somebody who knows them. And we got away from it for so long. I'll give you an example. I mean, when it comes to our business, I was talking to a big retailer recently, and they had come to us because they heard about our product, but they were wanting something of their own. And they realized that the research says people are going back to simple. They're going back to a product that does so many different things instead of having something for everything when it comes to skin. And that's why they were trying to pick our brains a little bit on that. And it was a great conversation because I knew it. I felt like I knew it, but then to hear it and the research is leading that way too is huge. I think it's the same thing with retail. I mean, I feel like those relationships and just if we go out and we do the right things, we're going to continue to grow. And, obviously you have to watch your finances, and there's so many different pieces to that, but just going and doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's so true. I think it looks great as well. And that's good insight. And this was such a great conversation, Natalie. How can people connect with you and learn more?
Oh, sure. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm going to make some good videos this week.
Do it.
So come and laugh at me on Facebook. I don't mind. Or I'm sorry, on TikTok. I don't mind. And at Dr. Doug's Balms. Our website is Dr. Doug's. You could always reach, any of the little chats come to my phone. So feel free to touch base. And I'd love to talk to anybody at any time. So.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Natalie. So great to have a conversation with you and for all your support all these years, both in our business and my health and Dustin's health. Like I plugged this earlier in the show, but Dustin is like obsessed with Dr. Doug's, brings it on our vacations. He sings about Dr. Doug's. Like he's just really loves the product. So anyone who's listening needs to check them out. And again, Natalie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for all of your support, Crystal. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Everyone, remember that I'm rooting for your success. Have a great week ahead. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Rooted in Retail podcast. It means the world to me to have you here. If you find value in this show and you listen on an iPhone, if you could leave a review on the Apple Podcast app, that would be amazing. And if you watch YouTube, if you're a YouTube subscriber, we film this. And so if you rather watch the show, you can also do that over on YouTube. Again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.